Ray's webinar, I'll show you how to improve your credit, yeah. Ray Reynolds, the godfather of credit, is here. Come to a free webinar Monday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. and find out how to put your credit back to 720 or higher. Bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments, and eBay can be removed from credit reports. Federal law allows you to challenge each and every item on your credit report. Giving Days Foundation, a nonprofit organization, is here to help. Can help get your credit PM at raisedwebinar.com. Wanna improve your credit? This is what you want. Check it out at raisedwebinar.com. Yeah.
Are you a new startup business or an up-and-coming entrepreneur looking to get your business funded? Yes. Sign up today for the free Banking on Your Success program developed by Christ Our Redeemer CDC. The Banking on Your Success program provides a great with top partner banks to provide loans and financial strategies to improve your business or develop a great business plan.
This is Mark Whitlock of Christ Our Redeemer AME Church. Sign up today for this absolutely free 5-week program. Our space is limited, so call 949-955-0014 to reserve your spot for Banking on Your Success. Classes are held at the University of West Los Angeles, 9800 La Cienega Boulevard in Inglewood. Call 949-955-0014. We're banking on your success.
Visit corcdc.org.
There cannot be a problem without a solution.
Wake up, wake up.
America is already great.
Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.
When they go low, we go high.
That's our motto. We want freedom by any means necessary.
Wake up. The Front Page with Dominic DePrima is on. News, knowledge, and your voice. The views and opinions expressed on the Front Page are not necessarily those of Taxi Productions or KJLH. Rise, shine, and stay woke. It's the Front Page with Dominic DePrima on Radio Free 102.3 KJLH.
If you dare to struggle, you dare to win. If you dare not to struggle, then you don't deserve to win.
Wake up, wake up.
Radio Freedom, that's what we've got. Good morning, I'm Dominic DePrima, and as I'm walking up to the microphone, I'm asking for blessings from God Almighty, the ancestors, the righteous elders in Southern California's early morning communications drum is wide open. Welcome, family. Welcome worldwide. Welcome to our love train. If you're listening online at KJLHradio.com. If you're listening on the app, all is well. We're starting every day with gratitude. TGIF, happy full moon. Let's get our werewolves in check. Those inner werewolves. Let's do some breathing. Let's love each other, one another, ourselves. Good morning. It is Radio Free Friday. What that means is that you can call and talk about whatever's on your mind, whatever's got you excited, inspired, upset, or anything in between. The number is 520-KJLH, which translates to 520-5554, 520-5554. Just throw on your area code of choice in the Southern California zone, the 310s, the 818s. And it's all good, and it's toll free. Hey, family, good morning. So it's been a crazy time. As you know, we've got this living while black stuff, which seems to be amping up and ramping up. You know, the little things, which aren't that little. Real estate agent having the cops called on him while he's trying to do his job. A 78-year-old African-American woman trying to cash a check at the bank. Bank refuses to cash her check and then calls the police on her. I mean, and there's so many of these stories. I find myself unable to write them all down, post them all on Facebook, and I have to take a breather and start again. And that's one of the reasons why I chose Love Train as our song today, our conscious cut of the day. It's also because we are in a serious full moon, as Sahar Ali pointed out yesterday. That full moon is today. The eclipse is August 11th. So it's a very intense time. Mercury is retrograde between now and the next 3 weeks. It's a very intense time. We really are going to have to get on our own personal love train, to look within, to breathe, to count to 5 before we say that snappy comeback we were about to say and end up in some kind of crazy fight or road rage situation. We're going to have to get on our personal love train. So my question of the day for Radio Free Friday: what are you doing to promote love or positivity in this time of Trumpishness, in this time of hate, in this time when people are just letting their inner werewolves run wild? I mean, and that's the gentler side of it, right? Because Nia Wilson is a case where, we don't know for sure that it's a hate crime, but it sure seems like it, because the guy who killed this young lady on the BART in the Bay Area is allegedly part of this group called the Proud Boys, which is a white supremacist group. And those are the very same, air quotes, Proud Boys who broke up the prayer vigil for Miss Wilson. And we have this case of the grandfather in Long Beach who was in the bathroom and was shot dead. And again, the family says this is a hate crime. Apparently, white guys had been riding by the park yelling out 187 on an N-word or whatever, reportedly, right? And then this man is shot dead, a grandfather. And so, I think it's really important that we don't give in to fear and panic. I feel that this is the darkness before the dawn. We see the truth coming to light in all of its wormy ugliness when it comes to the Cheeto in chief. And we know that trouble don't last always, right? So what are you doing? What are you doing to bring forth the light? What are you doing to tame your inner werewolf? What are you doing to get on board the love train? What are you doing to move us forward ever, backward never, in the words of Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of an independent Ghana? 520-KJLH, 520-5554. I know it's a lot of bad news, but there's a lot of good news and some joy inside our tears, right? A lot of good news, too. And a lot of young people and old people doing a lot of great things. Stacey Abrams poised to become the first African-American governor, and certainly the first African-American woman governor in the state of Georgia. First African-American woman governor in the history of these United States of America. Crazy, right? The victory of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We have progressive black mayors popping up in cities across the country. And a lot of us understanding that if we don't hold forth the light, if we don't get on the love train, then who the heck will? So what are you doing? Calling you out with the OJs this morning. What are you doing? People all over the world, join hands. We're going to have to do it. We can't turn into a jack-o'-lantern, illegit, crazy narcissist. We need to evolve ourselves into our higher selves. Because as Dr. King said, only light can drive out darkness. Darkness can't do that. More darkness can't do that. Okay, I see we're up and awake and ready to go, and I love that. So good morning, Tracy from Long Beach. Welcome.
Good morning.
You're on the radio right now.
Hey, how you doing, Dominique?
I'm blessed.
Good. I was calling to ask your opinion on the guy, Cameron Terrell, that they found not guilty for being the driver of the drive-by shooting. I just want to know, can you keep us posted on what's going to happen with the two young black guys, the two black kids?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We haven't talked about that enough. You're talking about the young white guy from Palos Verdes, what do you call it? wealthy or more affluent guy who was arrested along with two African American men. He's supposedly a part of a gang in Los Angeles, and he was acquitted.
Yeah.
He was acquitted, and it's what is the saying? It says everybody wants to be black until someone calls the police. And I don't think any of us were surprised by that, although I think some of us had hoped that there would be equal justice. So I think what you're saying is that the other two young men, because there was a young man killed. I mean, this is a murder case, right?
Right. And the two young guys that was with him, they were like, 15 and 16, and he was 18 at the time, and the driver, and then they just found him not guilty, really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It says that what I'm reading so far is that these two African Americans are probably facing life sentences at this point. And that's what we have to, you're right. We have to follow up. I need to try to get a hold of their attorney and see. But see, he was driving.
Right.
And he was an illegal adult. So how is the driver that brings the two juveniles to the scene getting acquitted? And the two juveniles are facing life. It's completely crazy. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
His attorney said that he was a witness to a murder. So he drove them, but he went out as a witness. So I think that's how he got off.
Okay, but you know what? You can call it. So that means if you're white, you're a witness, and if you're black, you're an accomplice.
Exactly. So if I drive you to the bank and you rob it, I'm going to jail just like you.
And that everybody knows that. I mean, you only have to watch one episode of Law and Order to know that. And I'm not. Okay, Cameron Terrell is 18, so it's not like he's some 35-year-old. But at the same time, we all know that when you're 18, you're an adult, and you can be held responsible for all kinds of things. I think most of us tell our children that.
Yeah.
And he admitted driving that car. He admitted driving a car that was used in the commission of a homicide.
And you know what? And when he was out on bail and he went to school, the parents in Palos Verdes, they was marching for him not to come back into school. They was like, he's a murderer. Yeah. They didn't even want him back at the school, and they took him out of the school, and you still found this man not guilty.
And the attorney, of course, is saying he should never have been charged, but we know that this is not. This is the double standard that upsets so many of us. We know that this is not how that story goes if this young man is white. It's not even, it seems redundant to even say it. But they're saying, the evidence showed he didn't have weapons, he didn't shoot anyone, he wasn't part of a conspiracy. If you drive a car to a place where and you drive the people in the car.
No, just committing a crime, period. Doesn't matter if it was murder, burglary, or whatever.
Right.
Just committing a crime. Right. You're still an accessory to the fact.
Yeah.
So I just want you to keep me posted on what's going to happen with the two young black kids.
Shoot, it sounds like you should keep us posted because you're paying a lot of attention. But call me again because this is important. And I think that, I'm not saying that, okay, we want 18-year-olds to be tried as adults or that this Cameron Terrell should be tarred and feathered or anything, but equal justice is what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. I don't care if he was 16. If he would have been 16 and driving them, you still should get treated as the others get treated. In my opinion, if you're going to charge these kids as adults, let them out at 21 if that's the case then. Let them out at 21 because you let this guy go free and he didn't do not a day in jail. Let them get their little freedom, and let them out at 21 or 25.
How about they just go into some kind of rehabilitation program? How about that?
That part there, yes.
All right.
Yes,
well, thank you for your call, Tracy. I guess we'll say what you're doing to get on board the love train is advocating for equal justice. I think that's an act of love. I'll put that in the act of love category. All right.
Okay, Dominique, have a blessed day.
All right, you as well. We're going to go to Sherelle from Riverside. Good morning, Sherelle.
Good morning, Dominique.
Welcome to the Front Page.
Thank you. And Dominique, I wanted to talk about how when things occur, like the horrific crime that happened in Oakland, the young lady, Nia Wilson, when the godfather, I think, and the father was speaking in the media. And I believe sometimes we have to be careful in how we word things. And the reason why I say that is because if we don't call it a hate crime, we don't say that it was terrorism, we don't speak that these Ku Klux Klans or white supremacy are doing the murders, then I believe that it would probably make things appear that this person was trying to defend themselves when they did the murders, like when they showed Nia Wilson with a phone.
With a gun that was really a cell phone cover. Her. Yeah.
Right. And so the way we word things, sometimes I think that the charges are going to be less towards these racist people that are doing the murders. And I was glad to hear the man who was murdered in Long Beach with his family, they was calling it a hate crime. They were using the right terms, because when we use the wrong terms, to me, it appears that the sentence would be less. And on top of that, Dominique, also, it's okay for us to be angry and have a little aggression, because every time when we're things happen to people that look like us, we are feeling terrible about this or whatever have you. And so I don't want to sing kumbaya songs or anything like that. I want to be angry or whatever have you, and be aware that the fact that it's okay for me to feel this way because I'm watching my people.
I got you, Sherelle. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. You know, the stereotype of the angry black woman, and we've talked about that. And it's true that we have things that we should be angry about. And if you're not angry about it, that means you're crazy, right? I mean, I'm not saying don't ever be angry, but I'm saying let's don't be part of the problem. Let's not fight evil with evil. Let's not become the oppressor, as Frantz Fanon famously said. Let's not get stuck. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't be angry. I'm very angry about Nia Wilson. I'm angry about the fact that those white supremacists were allowed to break up that vigil, and they were protected by the police while the crowd of mourners was pepper sprayed. I'm angry about the fact that a beautiful 18-year-old high school student lost her life for no reason. And I do think it's a hate crime. I understand but see, here's the thing, Sherelle. When you talk about the Godfather, and his
he was stating that
I know what he was stating. I saw it. I understand that, but
whatever have you.
Okay, Cheryl, you got to let me talk because it's my show. Okay, I'm going to talk with you.
Oh, okay.
So just back and forth conversation. Breathe.
I didn't know.
You're hyped up. I get it. I'm hyped up most days too. I'm just saying. Okay, so what he was saying, you see, we're not in Oakland on the ground there, and we don't know the level of tension, right? So what he was saying is just hold off and let's see, right? He just doesn't want anyone to get killed. He doesn't want, did you see the video where they beat the daylights out of that white supremacist who came to the vigil to disrupt it?
I didn't see that video.
Okay,
but nobody's talking to the white community about how to stand down. Don't be outraged.
Yeah, but
don't be out of control. They're only talking to the black community. I don't
all right, Cheryl. I don't think you're listening to me, but that's okay.
I hear what you're saying.
No, I don't think you are. They are looking at a situation that can blow the heck up. They don't want young black people to get killed on the streets out there.
I don't think that they're going to push that envelope to be killed, Dominique. What I'm saying is that it's okay
you know
for
what?
them
I
to
know
be angry
Oakland. I'm from
about
there.
the situation, but we always try to pacify or calm down our community, but never the other community.
Well, it's
that's
not
out
our
of
job
control.
to calm down the other
So
community.
it's not our job to do that. That's true. But what I'm saying is that nobody is speaking about the outrage that's coming from that other community.
I don't think.
It's always addressing our community.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Got it. Thank you, Sherelle. I got it.
Thank you.
I got it. And there is obviously a lot of anger coming from the other community, as you put it, because people are being randomly murdered. So you're right. That's a problem. And why aren't we talking about white rage? That's a great point. Point taken. But what I don't want is for us to just say, well, if they can rage, we can rage. Let's all rage. Let's live in rage and anger and fear. I don't want that. And I'm not even going Martin Luther King on you and saying you have to turn the other cheek. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, I believe we have the right to defend ourselves, but I don't want us to be consumed by hate and anger and despair. And I can see how it can happen given who is sitting in the Oval Office right now and the things that are being allowed to happen and the hate that has been unleashed. The Death Eaters are on the march. It's like, oh yeah, you can kill or disrespect or kick or call the police on a black person. I can understand that. And I feel like Sherelle is saying we need to call out that white rage that allows a man to just walk up and slash a young girl's throat. But I think you're misunderstanding Nia Wilson's godfather, who was just saying, let's wait and see, let's get the facts. He wasn't saying don't be angry. He was just saying stand down. Because my understanding from people that I've spoken to in the Bay Area, which is where I'm from, is that it's tense as heck. Think Los Angeles 92. And he's just saying stand down. Let's get the facts. Let's let the investigation proceed. He's not even saying don't be angry. I mean, did you hear the mama at the vigil saying, in the courtroom saying, this man is not crazy. She's trying to preemptively stop the insanity defense. She's saying he's not crazy, he's playing crazy. That was Nia Wilson's mom. I think they're trying to, the family is trying, and the family is getting all of the, all of the calls, all of the comments, all of the emails, all of the social media, and they're just trying to keep the community on their side without endangering any young people. I mean, you're talking about a high school kid here. So, the people that are marching and enraged are not just adults. A lot of them are kids. I think it's wise to be wise. We don't need any more children. And we already saw that the police there made the choice of protecting the white supremacists and pepper spraying the mourners. So do the math. I feel like we have to protect our young people in that situation. This reminds me of the debate we have where I'm saying, got to comply with what the police are saying and then call your attorney afterwards. And some people are saying, no, stand up for your rights, resist on the spot. Well, for me, I need you to come home alive. I need you to do that. Man, there's so many stories, things we have to keep track of and keep up with. And we're going to do our best to help you do just that. 520-KJLH, 520-5554. That's the number. I'd love to hear from you any day, but especially on Tuesdays and Fridays when we do our open phones. Bobo, let's hit this 24-hour news cycle.
And now, headlines for higher minds. A front page news brief with Dominique DePrimo.
It's the 27th of July, 2018. Happy full moon, man. Let's keep our inner werewolves in check, family. And there's a lot going on. I'm going to try to do rapid fire news this morning. The cost of years of privacy missteps finally catching up with Facebook this week, sending its market value down more than $100 billion Thursday. It's the largest single day drop in value in Wall Street history. Worries about the rising costs of privacy regulations and controversies, along with declining growth in users and revenue, playing a key role in that major Wall Street sell-off. That's from the Washington Post. Lawyers for the loved ones of a man gunned down in a parking space disputed in Florida, calling on lawmakers Thursday to change the state's standard ground law to stop wannabe cops from killing unarmed black men. During a press conference in front of the Pinellas Criminal Justice Center in Clearwater, Florida, lawyer Benjamin Crump said the law enacted in 2005 to deter crime has prompted an epidemic of unjustified shootings and nebulous claims of self-defense. 28-year-old Marquise McLaughlin was killed 1 week ago after he shoved Michael Drejka to the ground when he saw Drejka berating his girlfriend for parking in a handicapped zone. Surveillance video showed McLaughlin apparently turning to retreat when Drejka, who had a legal concealed weapons permit, pulled out a gun and fatally shot him. That's from ABC7, Dredge will not face charges because of those stand your ground laws, and this is reminiscent to many of the case of Trayvon Martin. Los Angeles is going to vote on whether there should be a cannabis bank. What does that mean exactly? Well, lots of banks don't want to do business with marijuana-based industries, and now LA voters will have the chance to okay the creation of the country's first public bank in 100 years, which would unlock an alternative to the too-big-to-fail profit-driven banks. And cannabis might be the key to that. Happening on June 29th, Mayor Eric Garcetti signed off on a ballot initiative to allow for the creation of a publicly owned bank. On the state's November 6th general election ballot, Angelenos registered to vote can decide whether or not to amend the city charter in order to allow for the establishment of a municipal financial institution or bank without further voter approval. And that is from leafly.com. California governor declaring a state of emergency now because of these fires stoked by hot and windy weather raging through forests in Northern California, in mountain communities to the east of Los Angeles. Calmer conditions here have helped forest fighters there on the lines of a suspected arson wildfire, but the governor issuing a state of emergency in both Riverside and South and Shasta counties in the South. Those declarations authorize the state to rally resources to local government. That is from the Huffington Post. And it is going to be hot again today. They said it was cooling off, but apparently they were wrong. We're looking at highs in the upper 80s, 90s into the valley. It is already 71 degrees in the city of Compton. I'm Dominique DePrima, and this is Radio Free 102.3 KJLH and KJLHradio.com. I'd have to get Mariah in here to explain this to me at some point. Apparently, the LA Football Club and the LA Galaxy tied. That doesn't happen in football, basketball, but Mariah was is quite the soccer star. So anyway, let's check in with our own Bobo Aaron Arnell for Freebie Friday. It's Radio Free 102.3 KJLH, Compton, Los Angeles, Long Beach, and Inglewood. Freebie Friday, by the way, is also segment produced by Mariah Mitchell. Okay, what's up, Bobo? What's free? Tell me what's good.
There's a lot of stuff free going on right now. And yes, you can have tie games in soccer. Little unknown fact, I like soccer too.
Okay, that was supposed to be Mariah's point.
Well, that's why she came in here.
All right, Mariah. Well, before we start the Freebie Friday, since you're in here, what happens? I mean, if you tie, then what?
So during your regular season, it's okay to tie. So you can tie during the regular season as long as you're not in your championship games. Then that's the only time you actually go into overtime. So in overtime, it depends. You'll either go into 2 15-minute overtimes like we saw in the World Cup. And if it's still a tie, then you go into your PKs.
Penalty kick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So normally a tie is just a tie. Like, so for last night, I know the LA Galaxy was actually up 2-0, and then LAFC came back and then tied the game. So they just ended in a tiebreaker. And then the season will just continue, and then towards the end, it'll come down to goal differential to see who actually moves on.
And what's your team, Mariah?
I'm going for the Galaxy. You know, I grew up watching them, so I gotta stick to my own team.
She has a soccer T-shirt on today, just FYI.
I do.
All right, Mariah, thanks for the update. Let's get some free stuff with Bobo.
Free stuff coming at you. We have free Derma E Renewing Serum and Moisturizer. Head over to woobox.com, and I'm going to have to spell this last one out. It is ONVDXQ, and score a free Derma E Renewing Serum and Moisturizer. Simply fill out the form, fill out your details, and you will be able to claim this freebie. That is woobox.com/ONVDXQ. Also coming at you free, we have free scar, gluten-free care packages, and sample. If you are on a gluten-free diet, hurry over to registration.speNUT.com and fill out the form to get a free scar gluten-free care package of samples. Now, we have a lot of events going on in the community. Writing on the Wall, street art lettering workshop with Eric K. This is going down Sunday, July 29th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., and it is completely free. Going down at the California African American Museum, 600 State Drive in Los Angeles, in conjunction with the exhibition charting the terrain, street and graffiti artist Eric King Create workshop. Participants will be encouraged to design their own signature words, phrases, and art elements in graffiti style. No prior art experience is needed. Recommended for ages 10 years and up. You do not have to sign up. This event is free, so all you got to do is show up. Once again, it is Sunday, July 29th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Something for all my basketball lovers out there. Budweiser Live with Ty Dolla $ign and Big Boy from Outkast. Not that other big boy. Friday, that is today, from 6 p.m. till midnight, it is completely free to go, but you have to RSVP. It is at Skylight Row in downtown LA, 747 Warehouse Street. 747 Warehouse Street. Now, what this is Budweiser's first ever 5v5 basketball tournament and dunk contest. To sign up and to RSVP, you have to visit Budweiser at LiveLA.com. BudweiserLiveLA.com to RSVP, and it is all free to get in once you RSVP. A lot of NBA legends will be there, so come out and have some fun. That is today's Freebie Friday. Back to you, Dominique.
Thank you very much, Bobo. Also, it's the Jazz Festival is this weekend, the Central Avenue Jazz Festival. That's also free. A lot of free stuff. Now, if only we could be free. 520-KJLH, 520-5554, 5:05 in the morning. Appreciate your calling early, calling often. Let's go to Devin from Los Angeles.
Doing this morning.
I'm blessed. What's on your mind, Devin?
Oh, my God. I don't even know where to start. I think one of the best things the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals did a couple of days ago is said now the state of California has the right to bear arms and have their CCW permits, because what's going on is that we really are being attacked nationwide, and we have to have protection for our families. We can't go in places don't have protection. These people are getting caught off guard. You get in an argument with them, and boom, they think that their lives is in danger or they're susceptible of great bodily harm. They're just going to come out and shoot you. We're going to have to get those CCW permits, Black people, legally, so we can protect our family. What they're trying to do is go back to the 1940s and 60s, take our rights, and almost try to turn us back into slavery. They want to get rid of the sports. They don't want us playing no sports. They want everything white in this country. I am extremely upset. We better come together, get together. I'm not going back to no slavery day. I'm gonna be ready.
No. And honestly,
get ready.
Honestly, Devin, I think that's what the president means when he says "Make America Great Again." That's how far back he really wants to go. I feel you more than you probably think, because I've always said we should have sensible gun regulation, and I feel like we need to be able to protect our kids in these times. I think of Ida B. Wells, and I think about how she walked around strapped and just said, you will not lynch me, and I will fight against lynching. And I think about then I think about Philando Castile and how, he had a concealed carry permit and was still killed by police. And then I think about people marching with tiki torches. And if you come march, you light a torch on my, a cross on my front lawn, I want to be able to fight back. I feel you. I think, we have to find balance. That's what I'm talking about the love train. It may sound stupid. I'm not talking about not protecting yourself. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how do we find balance? How do we look inside? How do we not allow ourselves to be destroyed and consumed by that reality, which is not new, right? It's not new that Black people have been attacked. I think that the racists and crazy nut-nuts are emboldened by having a crazy nut in the White House. I do. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. We have to protect ourselves, but I also think we cannot be consumed by hatred, rage, or put ourselves in a position where it is an excuse for us to be killed, as in the case with Philando Castile.
What I tell you what's scary is that now every time when I'm walking down the street, I see 4 or 5 white boys, in my subconscious, I'm thinking, Lord, it don't come up on me and try to do something to me.
I don't blame you. I've had those feelings myself. And for me, it's not necessarily 4 or 5, right? Especially since Neil Wilson, you see one that looks a little crazy and just like, no. And, you know, and this is coming from me who, you know, many of you know my mom is white and I have brothers and sisters who she remarried to someone not black who are white, right? But they have to understand that. That's called being logical.
Right.
You know, if people are being attacked, it's logical to be cautious and be defensive.
Why is it that Trump, when our people get killed and shot, he don't come and say, I'm sorry for this bereaved family and nothing else. He says, anytime when our people get killed and shot by the police or something horrific happens, this man don't even come on TV and say, I'm very so sorry for the person, for the family. He does not. He shows no emotion.
Well, why do you think that is, Devin?
He doesn't care.
Ding, 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 ding. I would take it a step further. I mean, and this may be, people may call me irresponsible, but I would say it's more than he doesn't care. I would say he's a racist. And he comes from a long line of racists. I mean, his dad was arrested at a KKK rally in New York City. So that may go a little beyond doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't disavow David Duke. He pals around with Steve Bannon. These people are known racists. They're not just that they don't care. They actively hate us. And I'm not trying to make things worse, because I really believe this is the time that, so if you're going to arm yourself, then you need to be up on all gun safety. You need to really train so that you're not just out there being Wild West. You need to really meditate and be balanced within. So you're not just popping off, shooting like crazy nut, We have to be wiser, stronger, more balanced.
Right.
We don't want to become Trump. We want to overcome Trump. And when I say Trump, I'm not just talking about the man. I'm talking about the syndrome.
Exactly. But who protects us, so to see? The question is, how are we being protected? Who's going to protect us?
Who's always protected us, Devin? Who's always protected us?
The Lord.
Well, the Lord and ourselves, right?
Right.
Faith without works. Yeah, it's us. It's our community. And what I mean, and I think that's the key. And it's one of the reasons we react so strongly to these Hollywood, white savior movies, is that really, even though we've always had allies, and I believe the allies that are stepping up now are more important than ever, but the bottom line is always us leading our own communities and our own families to salvation. Right. That's the only way it happens. Right. That's the only way where there's no betrayal. That's the only way that we can truly count on.
And I'll leave you with this, Dominique. No weapon formed against us shall prosper.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Because crazy can be contagious. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to those who are struggling with mental health issues, but I'm talking about imbalance, toxicity, right? That syndrome. And I think that, I think that I understand that impulse, but I think if you're going to carry a gun, then you really need to meditate every single day. You need to get up, sit down, look within, do some deep breathing, really relax and calm your body, work through your issues. If you're mad at somebody or something petty, write that out in a journal or write it out in a Dear MF letter, as the urban psychic would say, and then release it. Either throw it away, find a way to get that toxic stuff out of your brain and your body. Number one, it makes you sick. Here's my wellness tip of the day. If you're angry, do something about it. Talk to someone. Write a letter, write in the journal, and let it go, because it will give you dis-ease. It will make you sick. Number two, it will make you bitter. Number three, it will make you do things that you regret later. And if you have a weapon and you do something that you later regret, it can be a stain on you and your family for generations to come, and you don't want that. And that's where the love train part comes in. Who knew love train would be controversial? Look, we have to be really in our higher mind when we're dealing with people who are going into the reptilian mind, the reptilian mind, the lower less evolved self. Oh gosh, it's 5:13 in the morning. So I got to take a break here, and I'm going to take a break, but I really want you to call because I'd love to talk to you and hear the things that are on your mind. Did you hear about the lady who got the cops called on her for using coupons? Might want to talk about that. The new updates on the Nia Wilson case. So many things going on, so many things that I want to touch on. We haven't talked about Serena Williams being targeted for drug testing. 520 KJLH, the newest revelations about Michael Cohen, Trump's former fixer, and what that could mean for the White House. Boy, it's fast and furious. And Kimberly Guilfoyle, who's a Fox News personality and the former wife of our future governor, with some crazy news about her as well. All that straight ahead. Oh my gosh. And the Sheriff's Department investigation, the gangs of the LA Sheriff's Department, all that's coming up, plus whatever you got on your mind. It's Radio Free 102.3 KJLH and KJLHradio.com.
It's Radio Free Friday on the front page. Call now and bring the heat. Call 520 KJLH.
The fire.
Announcing a giant used car sale at Worthington Ford with over 600 vehicles on sale and everyone is under warranty. Plus, get a 10-day trial exchange included with your purchase. Pick a car, pick a truck, drive it 10 days and make sure you like it. Choose from the largest selection in town. Find the car you love and drive it home with just $95 down. That's right, pick any car on the lot, new or used, and $95 down is all it takes. Worthington Ford works with hundreds of lenders, including their own finance company, to get you financed. They own the bank, so they can finance anyone they want to. With over 600 vehicles on sale and everyone is under warranty. Plus, get a 10-day trial exchange included with your purchase. Pick a car, pick a truck, drive it 10 days and make sure you like it. This is a giant used car sale going on now at Worthington Ford in Long Beach. Huge selection, huge savings, right off the 405 freeway, Bellflower Boulevard in Long Beach. And they're open until midnight. 10-day trial exchange on used vehicles. Auto for credit. See dealer details.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-900-6131. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-900-6131. That's 1-800-900-6131. 1-800-900-6131.
Sunday, August 5th, Taste of Inglewood. And the Family Day in District 3 presents the 3rd annual Taste of Inglewood experience hosted by 102.3 KJLH. Bring your appetite and join us for a free fun-filled family event featuring some of the best food and fashion vendors in SoCal. Hosted by yours truly, Big Pee-wee. The Taste of Inglewood experience at 231 Gravella Avenue in front of Inglewood High School from 11 until 6 p.m. Come and visit the community service vendors while your children enjoy the kids zone, and don't forget about the senior lounge for our seasoned seniors. Want more info? Call 310-590-1234. 310-590-1234. Or visit tasteofinglewood.com. We'll see you on August 5th for the Taste of Inglewood experience. Great food, great music, and unity in the community. Presented by the City of Inglewood, sponsored by the Los Angeles Clippers, Ace Healthcare Foundation, Blue Shield, Care More, Martin Luther King Hospital, Market Street Bar and Grill, Spot 313, and 102.3 KJLH.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Get smart savings now with 0% financing for 5 full years plus $3,000 bonus cash on a 2018 F-150 XLT with 2.7-liter EcoBoost at your Southern California Ford dealers. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales includes $1,500 XLT open bonus cash, 500 2.7-liter EcoBoost cash, and 1,000 Ford credit cash. Requires Ford credit financing. Not all buyers will qualify. 60 months at $1,667 per month for 1,000 financed regardless of down payment. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 9/4/2018. See dealer for qualifications and complete details.
Training and Research Foundation is hosting its annual Community Resource and Enrollment Fair this Saturday, July 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Edward Vincent Park in the city of Inglewood. TRF will be conducting on-site screenings and enrollments for our preschool and infant-toddler programs designed to provide services to pregnant mothers and children ages 0 to 5. So be there for a fun-filled day of family-friendly activities, including face painting, obstacle course, and arts and crafts. Enroll your child with TRF this Saturday, July 28th at Edward Vincent Park in Inglewood from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, call 1-877-TRF-KIDS. That's 1-877-TRF-KIDZ. Again, 1-877-TRF-KIDS with a Z. Or visit trfhs.org. That's trfhs.org.
Are you tired of hearing car dealer ads claiming that your credit doesn't matter? But then they end up with one of these. Your actual monthly payment will be double what we just said. Must have a huge down payment. If you don't have above a 750 credit score, you should just give up. Tons of restrictions apply. Don't fall for the hype. If your credit ain't the best, just go see the finance pros at Repossess. At Repossess Auto Sales, the difference is that we're the bank. We've been helping credit challenged people get approved for over 28 years. And since we're the ones financing you, you can get approved for the car you want, guaranteed. Do you want a Charger, a Beamer, a Benz? Do you just want a great deal on a reliable ride? We have almost 1,000 vehicles to choose from. It doesn't matter if you have bad credit, no credit, if you're on SSI, or if you get paid cash. We can get you approved. Plus, we'll give you $1,000 for any trade-in. It doesn't even have to run. $1,000 for any trade-in guaranteed. Call Repossess Auto, 855-910-8888. That's 855-910-8888. Get approved on the ride you want today. 855-910-8888.
If you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. If you like it hot, pull up a chair. It's The Front Page on Radio Free 102.3 KJLH and DominiqueDePrima.com.
I wake up in the morning, take a picture, wash my hands, take a knee and thank the man, then give it to the money. I gotta go, away to go. I gotta give it to the money.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta go.
Good morning. Reminds me of Coach E. He always says, don't put your money down. Coach E will be on vacation from The Front Page for a while, but he'll be back. And if you want to know what's up with him, just go to ultimatetransformations.com. Happy Radio Free Friday, our Swahili word of the day. Yes, we are learning Swahili. And so far we have learned jambo, which means hello. And we have learned karibu, which means welcome. And we have learned asante, which means thank you. And now we're learning wewe, which means you too, or same to you. Back at you. So if somebody says asante, you could say asante wewe. Thank you too. If someone says karibu, welcome as in welcome. You are welcome. Karibu wewe. Asante wewe. I love the sound of Swahili. It's really fun. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I bought myself a little dictionary when I was in Tanzania. And we all decided we wanted to learn together. So asante sana means thank you very much. Asante wewe means thank you too. And you can practice maybe your Swahili with some of the fellow trailblazers. Hang out with us, see some folks' pictures. It's the African Focus Food Experience. It's tomorrow from noon to 3, and it's at it's in Inglewood, but you got to get a reservation in advance. 310-676-7300. 310-676-7300. This is up at KJLHradio.com under our calendar, which is in the front page section. That's at 967 La Brea Avenue in the city of Inglewood. But again, you can go to African Food Experience LA on Eventbrite.com, or you can call and get tickets, try some Nigerian food, and hang out with us. Wow, a lot going on, but we're going to go to Eddie H. Thank you for your patience. Eddie H., you have the mic.
Jumbo, my dear sister.
Jumbo.
Peace and blessings to you, the Front Page family, and of course to Stevie Wonder. But you left out one word that we learned, pole.
Oh, I did. Yeah, chill out. Yeah, we need that for the full moon too. Pole.
Exactly. Listen, let me just start by saying I was going to talk about something else, but I want to weigh in on what's really been talked about today. This righteous indignation, which is warranted. And therefore, us, there's no such thing as equal justice. And all we want is just justice in the first place. I heard Devin and I heard Sherelle, and I can feel where they're coming from. Being an activist as yourself with the Los Angeles Community Action Network, being on the front line, we see the racial animus right up front and close. But you said it yourself, Dominique. We've always looked out for ourselves. We've always taken care of ourselves. And sure, building alliances is a positive thing. But we have to come together. And I always issued a call to action. Lend your bodies and your minds to the movement and to the struggle. And there's a lot of organizations that would love to have brothers and sisters be a part of it. I didn't have much to say. Like I said, I wanted to talk about something else, but I do want to mention on Monday, when you mentioned Trayvon Martin, Jay-Z is going to have a documentary on BET. I think it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Eastern, 7 o'clock here, concerning Trayvon Martin. I wish that all the brothers and sisters take a look at that. In closing, I also want to say Asante Sana to you for the job that you continue to do and for the activism that you do over the airways 5 days a week. And thank you once again for your trip to Africa. I always feel like I'm there when you're there. And that's just an extension of you to the motherland and back here to us in this country. And again, have a great weekend. And brothers and sisters, again, lend your bodies and lend your voices to our struggle, because it definitely continues. And there's power in numbers. Have a great weekend, my dear sister.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Eddie H. And I'm glad you feel like you're coming to Africa with us, because that's one of the things that we hope for in the trip, that those who can't get a ticket and actually get on the plane with us will feel that they're there with us. I have a whole bunch more pictures that I need to post, but the thing is, some of them have crazy audio, and I need to take the audio off of my videos. People just randomly talking, and but I'll be bringing you a lot more pictures. Hopefully, you'll check in with us on Radio Free KJLH on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all of those. Follow and like us while you're there. And you can also find me at Diprima Radio, DIPRIMA Radio. I think I need more followers. Reminder that there is a gathering today in front of the West Hollywood Sheriff's Department at 7 p.m. In remembrance of this being the 1-year anniversary of the death of Jamil Moore. That's the young man who was found dead in the home of Ed Buck, former Republican who went on to become a wealthy Democratic donor. Now, he has gotten away without any consequences, any accountability, after this young African-American man was found dead in his home. Was ruled a drug overdose, even though this man has repeatedly given drugs to young men. And there's been ample testimony to that. So the DA has decided not to file charges. I have that in my next news break. But I just wanted to remind you that there is a gathering tonight at 7. Jamel's mom will be in town for this. She's from Texas. There'll be an update on the case, what's next, and how we can support this family that is, being given the runaround by the justice system. 520-KJLH, by the way, if you want to speak on the show today. And Molly Bell is with us from the city of Compton. Good morning, Molly Bell.
Reparations in memory of our ancestors. Dominique, God bless morning to you, the Front Page family, and of course your team. And a special good morning to Stevie. Love is in need of love today. Wonder, and I will say his name, Jamil Moore. And you, when you gave us Jumbo on the radio, I heard Hugh Fuller does a promo for his show, and he says Jumbo. Is he from Africa? or is that just a word everybody
He's
uses?
Belizean, but you know how our traditions carry over throughout the diaspora.
Okay, then, because I heard him say Jumbo. I said, oh, was he listening to the front page? Oh, okay. I want to say I enjoyed your week of programming this whole week. This week I've been in attendance to the 42nd annual Keep Us. That's the Kawaida Institute of Pan-African Studies with Dr. Karinga and others, and a lot of people from the East Coast. When I spoke, they said, are you Molly Bell from Dominique's show? I said, yeah, I'm from Dominique's show, front page. So they are listening to us all on the East Coast, Philadelphia and New York. And one of the things that Dr. Karinga told us this week is that this is our duty to know our past and honor it, to engage our present and improve it, and to imagine a whole new future and forge it in the most ethical, effective, and expansive way. And you said, what are we doing for the love train? I'm doing everything I can. As Chili Mo says, we need to organize, protest, march, and vote. Dominique, I have two quick questions for you. 45 and Cohen, I would like to know, what do you think is going to happen as far as what Cohen is saying, that he knew that 45 knew about the meeting at Trump Towers. And then also that Trump said that the DNC was hacked and Hillary's mail was hacked, and the Russians even tried to hack in on the RNC. He said, but the RNC had better security. So maybe the DNC and all these other places need better security. Isn't that kind of like a person who blames a woman for saying her dress was too short, her blouse too low, and that's why he was raped instead of dealing with the rapist? And finally, Dominique, would you share with us what is happening in Florida with the black man that was killed? I believe he was killed in that Stand Your Ground in Florida. As to what happened with that, and is Stand Your Ground and open gun carry becoming more prevalent in our society? Listen, all you prayer warriors out there, you know what you've got to do. You've got to keep fasting. You've got to keep praying, because the struggle continues. But always, to God be the glory. Thank you, Dominique, and everybody. Pole, pole.
Pole indeed. Chill out, slow down. Asante sana, Molly Bell. For the update, yeah, we talked about at the very beginning of the show, the case that you're talking about. I hadn't realized that Ben Crump, the same attorney who handled the Trayvon Martin case, was covering this case as well. The young man, Marcus McLaughlin, who was murdered in a dispute over a parking space. His girlfriend was in the space, and the shooter was berating her, yelling at her. He comes back out of the store, finds someone screaming at his girlfriend, an elder, middle-aged white man, and he pushes the guy. He turns around to walk away. The guy shoots him dead. Now the guy will not face any charges because of Florida's Stand Your Ground rule. Ben Crump is calling for that to change, that law, because this is the same law that was used to justify the killing of Trayvon Martin. The killer, Michael Drejka, 47-year-old, will not face any charges as far as we know. Now, there are some protests and campaigns going on. And if you remember back in Trayvon Martin, they didn't arrest Zimmerman for the longest time. It wasn't until people protested. So I think it's important that we do stay abreast of these, and I thank you for that. And by the way, Hugh Fuller listens to the front page all the time, just like we listen to Hugh Fuller all the time. We got love around here, and that's a good thing. And this emboldening, this hate that's going on, I think to your point, that we have to educate ourselves and know the facts about what's going on, the crazy that's going on now, but also the great and the bad things that have happened in our history, so we can see how we've overcome, how the arc of history does bend toward justice, how the light does chase out the darkness, how these things do go in cycles. What will happen with Cohen? I don't know. The fact that he may have made over 100 tapes of Trump talking with him, and he's Trump's fixer. So we got to realize that a lot of these conversations are conversations about problems Trump had that he went to his attorney to cover up. Many of those problems are women. He got 99 problems. Actually, he may have 100 problems because those are 100 phone calls. Trump has loose lips, the kind that sink ships. So Trump clearly said some stuff that's incriminating and problematic for him over those 100 calls. Whether they'll come out, how they'll come out, I mean, the man seems to be Teflon. He seems to get away with everything, but maybe this will bring him down. Let's keep in mind these are not part of the Mueller investigation. This is part of an investigation into Michael Cohen, which is being handled by New York prosecutors as opposed to the Mueller investigation. But should something come out that would be helpful to the Mueller investigation, the chances are it will be handed over to him. So I think that the White House is in a lot of peril, despite their seeming Teflon quality. Now, the other thing that happened is the emoluments case was allowed to move forward by a judge. The emoluments case is about the president profiting off of foreign governments while he's in office, which he's been doing in spades. Interesting that this happens at the same time that Ivanka Trump decides to close her little business, which has been wildly profiting off of foreign investment and all of the perks of being the daughter of the president. Well, she shuttered that to focus on her whatever her work is in the White House. But look, the law is closing in on the Trump family. And I will tell you that if he wasn't the president of these United States, I think it would have happened a lot sooner. The fact that he started off his presidency by paying off, or shall we say settling, air quotes, the Trump University case, which he got off really easy after his fake university ripped off hundreds of people of their life savings by promising to teach them the secrets of real estate, that Trump purports to know, even though he's had serial bankruptcies and now he's trying to bankrupt America with his terrible tariffs. The thing is, you got Mueller over here. You got the DAs. That case, the emoluments case, is not brought by some little, nonprofit organization from San Francisco. It's brought by the district attorneys of Maryland and the District of Columbia, right? And part of the issue is the way these foreign governments and such are paying off Trump by staying at the Trump Hotel, having events at the Trump Hotel. These monies go right into his pocket. He hasn't even put his assets under the management of anyone beyond his family. Supposedly it's his sons, those geniuses. I mean, meanwhile, we haven't talked about Maria Butina, this Russian spy who is now, facing charges. Well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, she was mixed up with the NRA. Her mission was to make Republicans more friendly towards Russia. Well, who's done more to help Russian Republicans be more friendly towards Russia than anyone in the history of ever? Donald J. Trump, the illegit president who Russia helped elect. Well, her job was to get Republicans more friendly towards Russia. She was willing to trade sex for that. That's been documented, that she offered sex in exchange for positions, okay, pun intended, in different Republican organizations. She weaseled her way up in the NRA and got close with some people in the NRA, started her own gun rights organization. NRA, of course, big policy influencers, right, with their cash infusions, but even more than the cash infusions, the fact that they threaten to get rid of lawmakers who don't support them. So all of these little pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together. Maria Butina, coincidentally, as someone mentioned on this show, gets to ask Trump a question at one of his events. Now she turns up. She was living with a high-level Republican operative and offering sex to others. The plot thickens, as they say. All right, let's keep it moving. I know you got stuff to say. Who's been waiting? Carl from LA, thank you for your patience. Appreciate you mucho.
Yeah, reasonable doubt, Dominique, is a word the prosecutors use. And maybe an attorney can come on and give us some more definition on reasonable doubt. I think that they're going to refile on that little white boy that's supposed to have that murder and be on his way to prison. They'll probably refile it to find a good district attorney.
Oh, really? You think Cameron Terrell is his name?
All right, we can find a good judge. Remember all those judges you had on your show? Maybe you can go in front of one of those one day.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I doubt they'll refile, but maybe it's possible.
Yeah. Anyway, I called about the sister that was murdered up there in Oakland and the brother that was murdered down here in Long Beach. You know, sometimes I frequent Long Beach a lot because I know people out that way. And I think that was a terrible thing, shoot that man like that on a day like that. And that sister comes up dead. And I heard a story yesterday that the white boy was still riding the train the next day, and somebody happened to be going to work and recognized him and turned him in. I mean, you know, they got like 4 different types of law enforcement officers on the trains down here in Los Angeles. 4 different types of law enforcement officers harassing people every day on these trains here in Los Angeles. Now,
well, I know a lot. I know that one of the reasons I hadn't heard that he was riding the train. I hadn't heard that, but I know that a lot of people were angry because they say the BART officers are so vigilant about people that jump the turnstiles and try to get a free fare, but they seemed lackadaisical about catching the killer of a young, beautiful young girl who, you know, had her whole life in front of her.
Yeah, I mean, that's a terrible thing. And you know, like your question is, what am I trying to do to keep the peace in the world? I'm just trying to hold on to myself. And I think a lot of these preachers, they need to go talk to some of these white people. I mean, it's the white people doing all this damage out here. I'm not doing no damage. It was people running around telling lies on me that I'm out in the street doing damage.
I feel you, Carl. And I think part of what I'm saying is misunderstood, because what I'm concerned about is us. Our mental well-being, our community balance, our not getting disease and discouraged because of the conditions that we're living in right now in this country with all these things going on. I'm not saying let's crack down on our community for being angry. I'm saying let's find a way to find balance, find the eye in the storm. That's all.
Yeah, I think it needs to start with those white folks that's doing all this stuff. I mean, I've been reading papers every month about what's the word they use about hate crimes every day going down in Los Angeles, all over the counties.
Yeah, well, Carl, there's no doubt hate crimes are up. But like I've said, all are welcome to listen to this show. I'm not saying I don't care about you if you're white or brown or Asian. I'm not saying that at all. I care about everybody. I'm glad everyone's welcome. But this is a black house. This is, it's not the White House, it's the black house. And the black people are cooking and putting the food on the table and welcoming you in and playing the music. Everybody's welcome. But guess what? My concern is my community. That's my concern. What is the song, Sweep Around Your Own Front Door? That's my concern. Not because I don't love everybody else, but because I takes care of home first. And I feel like your point is well taken. The media in particular needs to start addressing this white rage and finding some accountability for these folks, right? And I think that's the same thing that Sherelle was saying when she called in. I'm just saying I don't want us to get sucked into the hate, the rage, their agenda, the white supremacist agenda to make us angry. It's like when people send around those fake Facebook posts that are designed to enrage and paralyze you and discourage you. Now, John Cowell is the name of this white supremacist. I believe, we don't know for sure yet, but he's a suspected member of the Proud Boys. They just so happened to show up at Miss Wilson's vigil. But I'm just saying, know it, push back against it, but let's not be consumed by it. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now, we also have to pay attention to all these other things that are going on right in our community that are worth noting, that are on the positive side. You may not be impressed. We haven't talked about Regina Scott, the first deputy chief of the LAPD. She's African American. Maybe this means we're making some movement in the right directions. Congratulations going out to her. I do think the fact that the situation with the Trader Joe's, killer, the fact that the young lady that was killed at that Trader Joe's, that was police bullets, the fact that comes out right away, that the LAPD is actually being more transparent than usual. I think that's a good thing. Is it everything? No. Is it enough? No, I get that it's not enough, but I think we have to definitely pay attention to the fact, that we have a Chokwe on Tara Lumumba, who's the mayor of Jackson. We have a Raz Barak, who's the mayor of Newark. We have people that are doing powerful things in the middle of this craziness. And we need to also focus on what we want, not what we don't want. Even while mourning Frederick Taft, the 57-year-old granddad, who was gunned down in the restroom at Pan American Park in Long Beach. And his family says it was a hate crime. Say his name. And let's find out what the heck is going on. Yeah, you're right. We got to push back. I want us to find a way to do that from a balanced place so that we don't become jerked around by every little story that makes us angry. Let's go to Anonymous calling from LA. Hi, Anonymous. You're on the radio.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I was just I had seen it on the news regarding the young man that had gotten shot down by the stand your ground law.
Yes.
So-called thing. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to say that the news that I saw happened to show a young man before, after they showed that, they showed another black young man, and he made a comment that the shooter was actually there a week prior, hassling him about the same handicapped parking spot, and was trying to be an instigator and cause a lot of problem and grief for him. Apparently, he didn't, push him. And who says that this gentleman that did push him pushed him that hard? I mean, this guy was already geeked as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and what do you expect? I mean, this guy, Marcus McLaughlin is his name, comes out of a store, and this guy's screaming at his girl, and berating her. What are you going to do? Oh, excuse me, sir, please don't disrespect my woman. Of course, he pushed him, but he walked away. Now, then the guy shoots him when he's walking away. But I think your point is a really good one. He was the instigator in this because he was the one that started yelling at the girlfriend. He was the one that pushed the envelope over a parking spot.
Right. He went out looking for trouble and a problem. And I really sincerely believe that he put an act on when he failed that hard. I don't think that the brother pushed him that hard. I think that he deliberately put an act on so he could, these people are sick.
Well, and the other thing is, I don't care how hard you push me. I'm not killing you. Come on now.
Thank you.
That's
not.
And as Attorney Ben Crump said, that it was cold-blooded murder by a wannabe cop. It's the George Zimmerman syndrome. I thank you for your call, Anonymous. Hope you'll keep calling me. 5:46 in the morning, back with more of your phone calls. 520-KJLH, 520-5554. Love to hear from you. Man, there's so much to cover. Lucky we have Hot Topic Tuesday. Lucky and Radio Free Friday, open phones every week. Lucky we have social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Radio Free KJLH or DePrima Radio. Or straight ahead, Radio Free 102.3 KJLH.
Walk like you're chosen. Select heads meet here. The Front Page on Radio Free 102.3.
0% for 60 months on all Nissan models. He's talking about huge incentives up to $8,000, and he's having a crazy inventory blowout sale for the weekend. You need to